First, I'd like you to give us a name and let's do your presentation.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Emeka Okwuosa, CON. I am the chairman of Oilserv group of companies, and that is in the oil and gas industry. I'm also the chairman of the board of trustees of Sir Emeka Okwuosa Foundation, as well as the chairman of the board of Dame Irene Okwuosa Memorial Hospital.
All right. One of the reasons why we're here is to see the realization of this medical outreach. For me, doing this is giving back to humanity, giving back to society, giving back to a lot of people who can't afford open heart surgeries and other related. Can you just give us a sense of that sorrow experience or that sorrow feeling you have when you see a patient come out smiling with joy in his heart, in his or her heart, considering the fact that he or she just went through such a major operation?
Thank you. For me to put that in perspective and to actually convey that feeling, it's good to know where we're coming from and where I'm coming from. And it's just about basically a life of empathy. It's a life of making a difference, and a difference, positive difference in the lives of people across board. That's been the driver of the entire thinking. And when you look at the healthcare delivery we're talking about, for which we are talking about the Dame Irene Okwuosa Memorial Hospital and all the activities that we carry out there, and most importantly, the open heart surgeries that are being conducted here, giving people, so to say, their lives back. It's a thing of joy. I mean, some experience we've had here based on past activities, based on past surgeries that have been done here, it's good to see even young kids who prior to that could not live a normal life. You see them smiling, jumping, and being able to actually be human beings again. There's nothing more joyful than that. So for me, it just shows also, it's one of the few indicators that what we're doing is working and that we're making a difference in the lives of people.
All right, let's look at the medical situation in this country, healthcare situation in this country, looking at the fact that such services or such process is not something you can walk into any hospital and see those services being provided. But what exactly propelled you to keep open heart surgery, or are there plans to go into other major surgeries as
I'll give you a smaller background to that. Of course, when I set out to look at healthcare delivery, I already started doing things in other sectors, education, provision of infrastructure, water, what have you. You know, I wanted to make a difference in this sector because I could see the massive gap in healthcare delivery in Nigeria. It's a big challenge, just like you have in developing countries, but ours, the gap is massive, so to say. I started by just trying to build a hospital that would provide primary health care and general medical, treatment. But as we commenced that process, Providence put us together with VUM Foundation. I got to know Dr. Vincent Ohaju, who is the proprietor of VUM Foundation. VUM Foundation is a foundation based out of College Station in Texas, United States of America. But they have been involved over years with carrying out support systems for medical institutions in Nigeria, particularly in the area of open heart surgeries, all manners of cardiothoracic procedures, mostly to people who ordinarily cannot afford those. So when I linked up with him, he encouraged me to look into putting together what you have seen here. I caught up with that. The rest is history. It took us a couple of years to completely reconfigure here and put state-of-the-art equipment and facility. And like it's typical for me, anything I want to do, I want to make sure I do it the best possible way. So we broached no consideration besides getting this place to be the best that you can see anywhere in the world. So that is the motivation. Motivation originally, if I may repeat, is to build a medical facility, but we ended up with a hospital that handles cardiothoracic as well as general specialties, and that's what you have today.
Indeed, you say that sometimes when you want to be a major change maker, it starts with a step. And you would say that your efforts so far at seeing this materialize shows your commitment to humanity. But I want to look at the partnership with how this has transformed, how this has changed you as a person, and more importantly, how you plan to reach out more in the world.
Yeah, thank you. The cooperation we have between Sir Emeka Okwuosa Foundation and VOOM Foundation is quite unique. Unique in the sense that each entity has been striving to do the best in what we set out to do. So it's actually a meeting of common minds. VOOM Foundation, as I've stated earlier, they have been on this within Nigeria. And when I got to see what they've done so far, and I also have seen the flip side of it, and what do I mean by the flip side? The fact that some of the activities they've been involved in, they had not gotten the right response by the cooperation of the entities involved and by the sustenance of that process over time, because it requires commitment and investment continuously to keep it going. When we teamed up with them, I made up my mind that those gaps must be bridged. And I'm glad to say today that VOOM Foundation and Sir Emeka Okwuosa Foundation, we have been working successfully in a single direction. They have brought in here human capacity. They brought in here materials to support us. They brought in here equipment to support us. We have invested a lot in equipment, a lot in materials. So we are working very closely together. You can see the quantity, the number of people that will come from all over the world and come and stay in a town that is not really an urban town, spend 2 weeks here, put in all their time, day and night they're working. I mean, it makes a lot of difference. It requires a lot of commitment. I believe that the future of this arrangement we have is quite very good, and we will take it further to greater heights.
All right, let's break down this sustainability. Looking at what you're looking at the major challenges we have as a country. First of all, you have to look at the cost of running the place, you have to look at a lot of these challenges. And then, what are your long-term sustainability goals in terms of running this operation, that will transcend even beyond you? And also looking at the fact that human capacity, local medical hands are being trained, that someday they would also be a part of the process or even carry out this process. So what are your long-term sustainability plans?
You're right in saying that currently it's a massive challenge because we have to continue to support it financially. It will take quite some time to cross that bridge in a way that we're neutral in our cash flow, in our ability to be profitable, to be able to be in position to drive this in a sustainable manner. Currently, this is funded by Sir Emeka Okwuosa Foundation with a very strong support of the Oraifite group of companies. So in the net, we are still putting in, we're still developing. But when we started, we knew it was going to be this way. Even if it's just ordinary business, you hardly start it and start making profit the first day. If you take an example, if you read the story of Elon Musk and Tesla, up to recently they were still making losses, despite the huge balance sheet they are carrying. So what is important is to remain focused. and we are focused. Now, to be sustainable, we have to be cash positive, we have to be profitable, and we are taking it step by step. Things we have to do to get to that is already we built up the place. We will still have a chance, and we are working on the next stage of development of the hospital. But irrespective of that, of course, when you go for that level of development, you're looking at capital costs. What is important besides that is the operational cost, the OPEX. How do you sustain the hospital, maintain the equipment, make sure you have the materials, and make sure you're able to have the right people and keep training them, but you need to run it in a way that is able to bring the revenue. That's why the CMD of the hospital, Dr. Chima Nwaboso, is heading the hospital strongly, and he already has the plan, the strategy and the plan of the hospital, and is the one driving it. We give him that support, and we have a very strong support system from Oilserv, from the foundation, and within the hospital. We believe that our plans will work out. It may take us a year or more to be able to cross that bridge, but we'll eventually have to cross it, otherwise it will not be sustainable. Thank you.
Sir, can you give me a little background of why the choice of this location? Then I've seen the infrastructure, huge infrastructure around here. Maybe also is how much so far this project is.
Thank you. I'm from Oraifite, and they say that charity begins at home. Whatever I am today, I may not be that if I didn't grow. I grew up here. I did my primary school here. I did my secondary school here before I moved out of here. So Oraifite gave me what I am, and it's part of giving back. I give back to Oraifite. By giving back to Oraifite, I'm giving back to Anambra State. By giving back to Anambra State, I'm giving back to Nigeria. That is the principle. And you can see this hospital does not just treat people from Oraifite. Open heart surgeries we have, I'm sure the CMD will elaborate that even further. People from all parts of Nigeria, from Borno State, from Western Nigeria, we call it Southwest. We have from Southeast, South. So we are treating everybody. And this provides the medical facility for entire Nigeria. We hope that sometime to come, we'll be having medical tourism, that people from outside Nigeria will be referred to this hospital because of what it represents. So the main reason is giving back. And we have to give back to the society. And today, it happens to be that I'm doing that for this society. In the course of our business, Oilserv Group, we do give back also to various societies in River State, in FCT, in Kogi, where we have operations. We don't stop at all. I mean, if you don't have a strong corporate social responsibility plan and implement it very well, your business will not be sustainable over time. And I'm sure some of you are aware of the ESG situation today. The social part of it is very important because you don't live in a vacuum. Life is about people first. If you come into this world and you see nobody, then this world will not be the way it is. Huh? So people, that is it. So we're giving back. As to what we put in here, I leave it to the accountants to figure out. But I can always tell you that it's tens of millions of dollars already put in here. And we're doing that, like I said, because we want to make a difference. It's not a normal business that you go into purely for making money. It is to make a difference in the lives of people. Thank you.
I know you thereabout also the need for some government support. So what are some of the appeals you want to government?
Thank you. You know, the truth be told, medical service is quite a lot to a lot of people. But one part of medical service is also partly a social service. And by the nature, for medical service to become effective in a nation like Nigeria, government plays a key role. Not only in the setup of all the processes that manage medical service delivery, but also have regulatory systems that will ensure that this type of activity, they are done in line with a certain process and standard. But more importantly, the government owes a duty to its citizens to make sure that they are healthy, that they have food to eat. It doesn't mean they give them food, but that they have a process in place that enables people to be able to go out there and be able to feed them. So part of it is security. So government has got a responsibility. So when you come into healthcare delivery, government has to do more. I may not have the full knowledge or appreciation of what they have to do, but government has a lot to do in primary healthcare delivery, in also encouraging entities like ours that have come out here to make a difference. How do they do that? By making sure that regulatory systems are quick. We're not asking for a waiver, but let it be quick, that process. Let them also be in position to help us access, call it grants that exist, call it whatever that comes from international multilateral bodies. Government should pay attention. I mean, you probably are aware that for us to run this hospital, if you go out there, you see two big generators. Most of the time, we are burning diesel because there is no constant electricity. And even the quality of electricity is not there because it's not about the availability, it's the quality. You have very sensitive equipment here that may not survive with electricity that is going up and down. So this is again where the government comes in by interfacing with the electricity companies to make sure that we're able to have delivery of electricity. So government has got a lot to do. I also know that government cannot do everything, but this is an area of their government delivery that is very crucial. So we hope that they're in position to do something and be able to help out because they're not just helping us, they're helping the citizens of Nigeria who are using the services that we provide here.
Thank you.